Hello everybody, welcome to the 4th round of the Vtracc challenge brought to you by tracc.eu and powered by the Simgrid. As always, I'm Ruby Nakamata commentating, and I have Song KP right next to me as a co-commentator. Say hello, Song.
Hello.
So it has been raining for the majority of the prep session, but it has stopped now. The track is still wet, but the fastest time we have at the moment is Lucas Lichten with a 142.462. Song, you're really good in the rain. What do you think will be the key for success for these drivers?
In the rain, I believe that the control of the throttle and how consistently you can hit the braking zones are key to being fast in the rain, and also getting the pressures just in the right window. And plus, the strategy also is the changing conditions during the race. Yeah, I personally think that's how you succeed in the rain.
So before we head to the qualifying session, let's go look at the standings after the Spanish V-Prix. On top of the AM class is Zul Akihara driving for Technoburst Rev Up with 52 points. Second place goes to Soleil Drewcox, 46 points, driving for Katse Racing Team Pink. Third place goes to Faro Okami in the Bagu X Vitality Racing Team. Right behind them is Imeku Zanes, Ken Kaito Nasa, Rima Tateyama, Wyatt Natus, Mayaneko, Aether Yuki, and DJ Overdrive. For the silver standings, we have Jordan Branch right on top, leading the class with 52 points. Then Dirty Kohai with 40 points. Then it's Zen VTuber with 32. Ivano Chen Soy with 26, David Katse 22, Eric Regas with 20, and Amethyst the VTuber has not scored any points yet with 0 points. In Pro, it's Lucas Lichten having a dominant season so far with 51, but Ryoma Kirihara still has a chance to capitalize on the German driver with 40 points. Isengard was not too far behind with 36. The Not Calamari, after a few unfortunate races, is stuck in 4th with 29 points. In 5th is Psycho Kaiza, then is Asa, then Ace of the Nyanpire, excuse me, Emilian Anderson, Sebastian Arasi, and Akito Asuzugawa. And for the teams, Technoburst Racing leads only by the slimmest of margins with 66 to Mirai United's VTuber Racing Team 65. Then even closer behind, then the same distance behind that is Bago X Vitality Racing Team with 64. And now we see the biggest gap in the grid, at least for the moment, with 62 points with Katsei Racing Team Pink. And in 58 points, Technoburst Rev Up with Zul Akihara and Kaito Nasa. 2 for the second Yukai Racing Team, 46 for the first Yukai Racing, and the third Yukai Racing Team is 17 and 8th. As we get set for the qualifying session, it is now clear actually. The track is as sunny as can be as the first car out of the pits is Isaac Umbras.
Yes, Isaac Umbras, very quick in the Mercedes. We will have to see what he can do in qualifying today. Maybe he can do a little upset against the Giants of Ryoma and Lucas Licton.
We'll have to find out shortly here, as we're still in the very start of the qualifying session. These are going to be just going to be sort of banker laps, a bit of a warming up the tires, getting the tires up to pressure, getting your brakes under pressure, checking out the track conditions, because it is very different compared to the practice session where it was completely wet. Now here, the track is fast. The track is already in a good state, so the driver is going to have to adapt to the grip levels here. As Isaac Umbras now comes into the third sector. Right behind Isaac Umbras is Ace of the Nyanpire. And then right behind her is the number 56 car of Akito Suzugawa, who makes his entry after quite a while, makes a return to ACC.
Yes, he's definitely a driver to watch out for because it's his first race in ACC in such a long time. Who knows if the grid around him has gotten faster or if he's still able to keep up his skill level to what was before.
So we see Isaac Umbras crossing the line now to start his first lap of the session. My timing screen is showing just a 3:31 that he's still on the first lap, but that'll probably update once again after he crosses the line once again on this lap. Another driver has joined the grid. Really, I think that's Psycho Kaisa actually. So it must have disconnected there. So we have 14 VTubers ready to do battle here as Isaac Umbras rounds out that really banked left-hander now into probably the highest, probably the second highest speed portion of the track. Just really intense left-right, and then this huge banked right-hander. And now into this part of the track where a lot of the braking points are just by feel. There's not really much reference.
As he rounds out into sector 3 here, going out onto the back straight, getting ready for the tricky 90-degree right-hander immediately into a semi-hairpin left turn, which enters him into the final sector of the track. A double right-hander that is normally banked in real life, but the ACC version isn't updated, so we will have to deal with this for now. But let us see as he rounds the final corner. What time will we see as the first of the day?
You see, it's definitely going to be a lot faster than we saw in practice. It's going to be a 137.535. Just a little bit of a banker lap here for Isaac Umbras, as Ace of the Nyanpire also responds with a 137.375. So Leah Vtracc also crossed the line, as well as her teammate David Katsei in the silver class. We'll take a look at Ace of the Nyanpire, because Ace of the Nyanpire is on a pretty good lap here. Actually, no, Isaac Umbras is on a better lap here, up 0.3, up from his 37.535. Once again, to remind you of the practice times. The practice times were 142.467. That was the fastest practice time, so definitely a lot faster And yeah, a wet track will do that.
Yes, definitely. In the wet, the pace is normally 5 to 10 seconds behind the pace on the dry conditions. So you definitely see a lot of difference in the times between wet and dry. I mean, obviously, but still.
As the is coming up to
As
that really sharp right-hander.
as Kirihara actually has just overtaken Isaac for third, but it probably won't be for long as he rounds the final two corners again. We will have to see how the lap will be.
Going to be a big improvement. He's able to keep it together on this final turn here. He loses, well, actually, no, he gains a lot of time out of the corner. It's going to be almost maybe 7/10 of an improvement. We'll see as he crosses the line. It's going to be a pole time, definitely, for a 136.785. A great lap from Isaac. We'll take a look at Akito. That's going to be a 137.205. We'll see who else is improving. Ace, yeah, oh, excuse me. Actually, Ryoma Kirihara is the closest to the start-finish line, so we'll take a look at him crossing the line now. That's going to be a 136.895, so the second driver to enter the 36-second range. Lucas Lichten topples both drivers by a wide margin of 5/10 with a 136.230, so Lucas Lichten already making a statement in the pro class. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at the silver class. Dirty Go High is at the top of that class, now already coming into the final few corners of the racetrack. Or a pretty short racetrack, but very technical.
The car that Dirty Koha is driving, actually the BMW M4 and Lucas Lichten's Porsche, they both have minus 40 kilograms ballast for this race. So they definitely have a little of an advantage over other drivers here, definitely, as Dirty Kohai drops into pole position for silver class.
Indeed, that was a time of, I believe, a 137.987 that lap, so that's a big improvement for the Yukai Racing driver. We'll take a look at Akito Suzukawa once again, already improving on his best time as well. Actually, just matching it. We'll take a look at the rest of the grid. Take a look at our pole sitter for AM class. That is Zul Akihara in the number 21 Technoburst Rev Up Team Aston Martin. Yes, I am getting that right. I can speak English. So coming through very well into the second sector, into this really tricky part of the race. They're getting, once again, no reference points. You're just going to have to do it by feel, by just experience. And Lucas Lichten further improves this time. That's going to be a 135.870. So the first driver in the 135 range, and the track is getting a lot faster. Meanwhile, taking a look back at Zul Akihara, who is just matching their best lap time at the moment. Kaito Nasa also on track in the number 19. The same team, but not improving on their lap either.
As Evano Sensoi just 1/10 behind Dirty Kohai for the silver class pole position in the McLaren 720S Evo.
Yeah, we missed that actually. Chensoi actually, yeah, that's a small gap there. Take a look back at Ryoma Kirihara, who is still trying to improve, trying to break into that 135 range for sure, but lost a lot of time exiting Sector 2, unfortunately. His Boo actually goes off track, so that's going to be a lap thrown away for them. Isaac Armas, meanwhile, rounding out the final corner once again. This is going to be a not too much of an improvement. Doesn't look like I actually lost a bit of time on the out of the final corner. It's going to be just matching his best, if just a bit behind, so still in third place. Akito Suzukawa jumps both Kirihara and Umbras with a 136.425, but is still nowhere close to Lucas Lichten's lap. Lucas Lichten still just improving on his lap too, up by 1.5 tenths.
Yes, the minus 40 kilos very, very affecting the Porsche's pace here, as we see he's up ahead of literally everybody else by more than half of a second.
So Lucas Lichten on top by a wide margin. Let's take a look at anybody else improving. David Katse is improving by a little bit, by 0.6. Take a look at him as it goes through this tricky section of the racing circuit. Actually, every section of this race circuit is pretty tricky.
Actually, we might have missed Dirty Kohai making a 9-10 improvement, basically putting him above Asa the Empire actually by 100 of a second.
Yeah, Dirty Kohai had it 137.115. Take a look at David Katse is still on this lap. It's gonna improve and jump ahead of Zul Akihara, but wow, great lap from Dirty Kohai, who is still improving, still finding time. Just crossed the line. We'll take a look at them for now. It's a short track and just a lot of time to be gained here, and it's just a very close field.
Yes, a lot of times to be gained still as the track is still getting faster and faster each lap as the rubber is laid down where the grip needs to be.
Pretty go high coming around this right-hander up about 2/10. Yes, 2/10. Now gonna enter the final sector. Once he exits this corner here, actually lost a lot of time out of there. So now back down to 1/10 of improvement, so it's not going to be enough to get himself jumping over Isaac Umbras. We'll still take a look at the rest of the grid, see if there's any improvements down the line. Taking a look at...
Jordan actually improved to overtake Ivano Sensoi for P3 in silver.
Indeed, that's a 138.070. Dirty Kohai is still on top of the silver class, however, with the 137.115. It doesn't look like this is going to be a big improvement, but it's going to be an improvement none of the less. It's going to be 0.75. We'll see Isaac Armbas if he has anything to offer here for us. He is a second off the current pole time, but with 135.735 with only 8 minutes left. Ooh, goes off track, so that's going to be invalid, and a bit of damage actually inflicted on his AMG. Now we go back to Jordan Brunch, who is making another improvement.
Yes, as Jordan here rounding the final two corners, let's see what improvement he can make to probably overtake a pro driver actually of Psycho Kaiser and also Kirihara, both Technoburst drivers here. Let's see. As he crosses the finish line, what would the lap be?
It's a 137.730 for Jordan Bunch, so overtakes, I think, Zul Akihara once again. Still third in the silver class, behind David Katse and Dirty Kohai. I'll take a look, but he is actually improving once again, so we'll keep an eye on him, actually.
Ivano Sensor though, not improving on his current best lap right now. He's currently being last in silver class. He definitely needs to up his pace before the race starts for a decent starting position.
Yes, I know that Ivano Chancellor was talking about struggling with the 720S. They didn't really like how the car felt. It's a very capable car, but it just takes a really specific set of skills to really get the most out of it. And driving it myself, I really have not gelled with it. But I know that I'm really jealous a lot of the 720S's power out of the exits. And power out everywhere. I get out-dragged by that car. Meanwhile, wow, Jordan Butch is making a big improvement. Actually lost a bit of time. I think he overshot that corner, which is why the delta shot up so much. It was going to be 7/10, but I guess he just really overshot it. Wasn't able to get the car rotated enough. And lost about 6/10 on that. And I don't think it's going to make it a big improvement because of that. We're still about a tenth and 200ths. That's going to be enough to jump Psycho Kaiser, I believe. Yes. So 8th overall for Jordan Bunch, ahead of the pro driver of Psycho Kaiser. You see, look at Solar Drocox exiting the pits. Take a look at Ivano Chensoi, who's actually improving on his lap as well. So getting a little bit of a hang of the 720S for now. Is going to be enough to jump Zul Akihara if this delta holds up. It is going to be enough. This is going to be a 137.702, so just ahead of Psycho Kaiser as well. Psycho Kaiza struggling a bit uncharacteristically with this session at the moment.
Yes, very, very bad session right now for Psycho Kaiser.
Pretty quiet Garson Alliance.
As
That's going to be another improvement ahead of Isaac Earnbez with a 136.702. That BMW M4 really good around here.
yes, because it has the minus 40 kilograms of BOP, but you cannot discount the improvements that Kohai has been making as a driver. Just 1 second behind the pole sitter. Very, very fast pace around here.
Indeed, that's a great performance from the Yukai Racing driver. Take a look back at Jordan Bunch, lost a bit of time, actually gained a lot of time back out of this corner. You remember last time he overshot it. Psycho Kaiza letting him by, so Jordan Bunch has a lot of space to work with here. This might be enough to jump David Katse and just maybe get a bit closer to Rikai. No, it's not going to be enough. He's going to have to make an 8/10 improvement, but it's going to put a little bit of a dent in that gap with a 137.102. So a great lap from the Scottish Minister of Defense. Take a look at Psycho Kaiza, see if he's going to improve this lap.
Yes, very uncharacteristic of Psycho Kaiser to be qualifying this low, so we will have to definitely watch this lap to see if he's going to make a well-needed improvement to keep up with the pro class boys.
Speaking of pro class, Lucas Licken is once again on a tear of a lap. We'll keep an eye on Psycho Kaiza, but Lucas Lichten is just about matching actually Psycho Kaiza. Oh, never mind. His lap is not invalidated. It's just on my timing screen. But yes, back to what I was saying. Lucas Lichten is really, really on a great pace at the moment. Did lose a bit of time, but still on top as I drop my pen. Still on top of the leaderboard. Psycho Kaiza made a bit of an improvement, 0.2 of improvement out of that corner, so might be finding a bit of pace. But only 3 minutes to go. That's probably going to be like 2 more laps, flying laps. Depends on when he crosses the line here. I think it went a bit wide. I don't know if that's going to count. I can't really tell with my timing screen at the moment. We're going to see. Asa and Yanfei, I believe, jumped up position. So ahead of Jordan Brunch, that's going to be 6th overall and 5th in class. And Psycho Kaiza does make a bit of improvement ahead of David Katse in the overall standings, but still just a bit a ways from Asa the Nyanpire.
Yes, as there's 2 minutes 45 that in qualifying. A lot of drivers out on track right now trying to make use of the track that has actually just turned into an optimum track.
One of the drivers hoping to take advantage of that is Lucas Lichten to further extend his gap. That's a big gap to 2nd place of Akito Asuzagawa with 7/10 clear of the Mirai United VTuber Racing Team driver. It is absolutely insane the performance he's putting on today for Team Mofu Mofu.
Yes, and he rounds out the final 2 corners right now. Is there an improvement? Let us see if there will be an improvement as he crosses the finish line soon.
It's going to be a huge improvement. It's going to be a 135.262 at the 2nd and 1/10 ahead of 2nd place Akito Asuzagawa, the class of the field here today. Absolutely stunning performance here from the Mofu Mofu Racing driver. Meanwhile, Ryoma Kirihara looking to try and jump Isaac Umbras and maybe potentially Akito Asuzagawa for 2nd place here. The optimum track conditions.
Interesting sight in front of Ryoma actually. That is a Ferrari 488.
Yeah, that is Wyatt Natus in the 488 in the AM class, getting a toe off of that 488. That's going to be 2nd place for Ryoma Kirihara and at least gets a gap to under a 2nd with a 136.227, but that's still quite a big gap to Lucas Lichten. Let's see if Ryoma Kirihara can make at least a bit more of a dent here. Psycho Kaiza, meanwhile, Psycho Kaiza just ahead as Ryoma Kirihara went off track there, so it's going to have to... Actually, this is going to be his final lap, so probably not very, very... it's not going to be a good lap here. That's going to be his That's going to be pretty much where he stands. Let me check here where Akito is. Aki is slowing. He's not going to have enough to make another lap here. So Psycho Kaiza, the only driver here, I believe. Actually, no. Jordan Bunch is also on a flyer, so excuse me. So Jordan Bunch, Psycho Kaiza, the last two drivers who are making an improvement in the dying stages of qualifying. Psycho Kaiza is making a big improvement here. Up 4/10 from his personal best. But we'll see if it'll stick. He's 2 seconds behind the leader, so he's definitely going to be wanting more.
Yes, this rounds up the tricky little left-hander there, going into the final two corners again. That seems to be my commentary spot today. As he went a little wide there, but can he keep the improvement round the final corner into the long straight at the beginning? We'll see.
It is enough to jump
and he
Asa.
beats Asa Empire.
Yes, indeed. Asa the Empire is behind Psycho Kaiza at least gets a better position. Doesn't have to start behind so many other classes of the field. And I think that's going to be it for the qualifying session. Kaito Nasa rounding out the final two corners here. Actually, Jordan Brunch is on him for still improving here. He just improved on that previous corner, so I don't know if it's going to be able to jump Asa and the Empire, but it's going to be an improvement nonetheless over David Katse. But your pole sitter for silver is going to be Dirty Kohai with a 136.702. A great lap from him. And for the AM class, it is going to be Zul Akihara with a 137.810, excuse me. So great laps, great performance from everybody in this qualifying session.
Indeed, and looks like the only outlier here today is Dirty Kohai, who has qualified great to be with the Pro Class Pack today.
And things have just been thrown. A wrench has been thrown into the woodworks. I mean, wrench has been thrown into the whole thing. I don't know how the saying goes. I'm not really good at this, but yes, indeed. Rain is here. The track is wet. So these drivers are going to have to make a last-minute setup adjustment. But before the race comes underway, we're going to take a look at the starting grid for today's race. First up on pole with a lap time of 1:35.262 is Lukas Lichten in the number 998 Mofu Mofu Porsche. Then is Ryoma Kirihara in the number 128 Aston Martin. Akito is the guy who makes a great return with a third place start. Isaac Armbuz is in fourth. Kohai, your silver class pole sitter with a 136.702. Then it is Psycho Kaiza, Asa the Nyan Pyre, Jordan Brunch in second in silver class, then David Katse in third. Right behind David Katse is Ivano Chensoy. Then your pole sitter for the AM class with a 137.810, excuse me, is Zul Akihara. So Lidford Cox right behind. Then is Kaito Nasa. And then Wyatt Natus rounds out the field. And that lovely 488. Look at that 488.
Yes, with number 88 too, actually.
As they get set to do our formation lap here, everybody pretty much expected to be on the wet compounds, but there is going to be a change in the weather. We'll see how fast the conditions change. Song, once again, you are the Rainmaster of Tracc.eu. You know how to handle these changing conditions, and you know how to, definitely know how to manage the car. What advice would you give to some of these drivers?
My advice for those drivers is consistent over everything. It applies to the driver, but in the rain, it is more important because being inconsistent and trying to push too hard will punish you more than if you were in the dry. And also, the setup needs to be absolutely perfect. And also, what I said before in the pre-qualifying, You need to yep, just basically manage everything right, and you should be good in the rain, especially the braking zones. As actually, Wyatt Natus probably forgot to press drive as they are starting from the pit lane.
Yes, Wyatt Natus in number 88, 488 is in the pits. Not sure why. Yeah, maybe because of not forgetting to press drive, or maybe it was pause. I remember did at one time. I was in the pause menu trying to fix something, and then the countdown expired. I was on the grid. I pressed drive, but it did reset me to the pits. So, number of reasons why you could be in the pits. Maybe trying to take it easy as well. That's another thing. Yes, Lucas Lichten on pole, but we'll see how he can handle the rain. The Porsche probably really good in the rain because of that rear engine configuration. A lot of the traction will be on the rear tires. Then the Aston Martin behind, not sure how that will handle it. Then Akito in the in the 296, not the 488. 488 is only Wyatt Natus. And then it is Isaac Armez in the AMG. Which manufacturer will handle the rain the best? Well, it's going to come down to driver as well.
Yes, as they are coming to the back straight now into the final sector, ready to go for the green light.
Everybody, get ready for the 4th round of the Vtracc Challenge, brought to you by tracc.eu. 14 VTubers of the best VTuber racing VTubers we can get in ACC, all in GT3 machinery, 3 classes, a lot of action, a lot of memorable moments here. Great drivers, great personalities, and great track here. Zandvoort, one of the classics, as it stopped raining here, so it's going to be a matter of changing conditions. Who's going to conquer them the best here? Will it be Lucas Lichten, the dominant force so far in the season, or will somebody else make an upset? Will it be Akito making a great return? And we'll see if Dirty Kohai is able to punch above his weight and even take the fight to some of the pro drivers here as we get slowed down to 70 kilometers an hour on the front stretch. Lucas Lichten will head the field to the green flag once it flies. Ryoma Kirihara right next to him. He's going to want more. He's going to want to eat into that points gap that he has between him and Lucas Lichten. Green flag is out. We're underway here for the 4th round of the Dutch V-Prix. Lucas Lichten coming into the first turn. The banked right-hander. All is well so far, I believe. Side by side is Ryoma Kirihara, but Kirihara loses a little bit of momentum coming out of the corner. Looks like everybody has survived the first quarter. Now into the snaking. Isaac Armbrust is around. Isaac Armbrust is spinning. Jordan Kohai is off the track. Isaac Armbrust.
We need a replay of that. There seems to be contact.
We'll take a look at the replay indeed. Coming into this snaking part of the circuit, Jordan Kohai just outbrakes himself and he gets into the rear of his own teammate.
Oh yeah, that is not... Yeah, that's really unfortunate, really. And Kohai just goes on as Isaac has to recover from the spin.
Isaac Armbrust is still trying to recover here. Maybe has a bit of damage as... Oh my goodness, there's another incident here. Solo Drocox had a moment here. We'll take a look at what happened. Oh my goodness, that's a huge off!
Oh, the hood is wide open. Can literally see the engine. Yes, that has to be on RTG. Very unfortunate again.
It is all happening here as Ace of the Nyan Pirates shot back to 8th position, 3 wide, almost 3 wide behind Ivano Chensoy. A lot of action going on here, but at the moment, your leader is still Lucas Lichten, able to get ahead of Ryoma Kirihara and avoid the carnage. Ace of the Nyan Pirate dives into the inside of Ivano Chensoy and regains that 7th position overall, but has 2 silver cars to deal with. Dirty Kohai has dropped to the back of the field, probably trying to not get too much of the ire of the stewards, but unfortunately, what has happened has happened. He's just going to have to put his head down and continue to focus on the race ahead. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, it is Lucas Lichten. Ryoma Kirihara, 1.3 seconds back. Then we have Akito Suzukawa. Psycho Kaizen made a great start here, is able to recover from that poor qualifying performance and get through the carnage. Take a look back at the rest of the field. Ivano Chensoy and Zul Akihara. It's an inter-class battle here, actually, between Pro, Silver, and Am.
Yes, and it looks like Ivano is going to involve with Asa too, as Asa's a little bit slow through that section there. We'll see through the big downhill there what they are planning to do.
So Akihara trying to peek into the inside, but that's not a track. That's not part of the track we want to pass. Well, Shensui is trying to prove me wrong. Gets side by Asa, and Asa gets a bit spooked there. Has to juke to the left side, and as a result, Shensui gets around the number 69, 296, and now that puts her into the claws of Zul Akihara, the AM class leader. Right behind him makes a move to the inside. That's contact, and Asa and the Empire spun around.
Yes, Asa has been spun around, and it has. Let's take a look at the replay here, as it looks like. Looks like Zul was just kind of too close to predict where Asa would brake, and that made Zul hit the back of Asa's car.
However, it is still the I believe the fault of the car behind, because you do need to give yourself a bit of a gap. It is close racing, but contact from behind will never look good, as Ryoma Kirihara posted the best lap of the race. But that's just because Lucas Lichten's last lap time was invalid of a 141.365. So officially, the best lap of the race goes to Ryoma Kirihara. But in the end, we know that Lucas Lichten is the fastest car on track. That battle, that bit of a battle, still kind of going on. Meanwhile, Kaito Nasa, Zul Akihara, and Dirty Kohai all close together. Dirty Kohai trying to recover from that lap 1 incident early on. You see Isagama's on the map pretty far behind, having to just really ride around and try and maybe get the, I believe, get his strategy aligned correctly. Maybe fill up the tank completely and then just go on the drives for quite a while. Could work here as Aki's around!
Oh my god, yes, Aki has indeed spun. What has went on here? We need to. Oh, has just caught the curb there and spins into the wall. Big hit there. Definitely need to pit for damage.
That's a huge hit. And Akito Suzugawa still in 5th place, but that car is not going to be fun to drive, I am pretty sure. Dirty Kohai is around Kaito Nasa, and probably soon enough Zul Akihara. Keeping an eye on this for now. Dirty Kohai coming around. Pit window's open, by the way. But yes, Dirty Kohai rounding out this little semi-hairpin, as you call it. And then this banked corner. Not as banked as in a real-life reconfiguration, but still sort of banked. It's still high speed. As you see up ahead, Zul Akihara goes into the sand trap. They'll definitely give an opportunity for Dirty Kohai to catch up just a bit. You can see ahead of these two, that is Ivano Chensoi, as Akito Suzugawa goes into the pits to repair damage and maybe just see this race to the end. I don't know if it's going to be dry enough to get on the slick tires, but it seems to be drying a little bit quickly. I'm not sure. Zul Akihara gets into the curb, upsets the balance of the car just a tight bit. Dirty Kohai has to break his momentum not to get into the rear of Zul Akihara, however.
Also, actually, we have had one disconnect in the form of Wyatt.
Yes.
Maybe they have problems with the car and decided, oh, I had enough, I won't drive anymore. Or maybe it's some other problem?
It could be either or. We do not know for sure. Dirty Kohai still behind here. Ooh, Zul Akihara goes a bit wide out of that corner, and that'll give an opportunity for Dirty Kohai to sneak into the inside. The Snow Leopard pounces right around the 7th place car of Zul Akihara and takes that position for himself. Zul Akihara trying to hang on just a bit more, but I don't believe they have the pace to keep up. Akito Suzugawa is out of the pits at the moment. Actually, just getting out of the pits. We'll see what tires he has on. I can't really see from here. I believe
Wets.
He's on the wets. Yeah, it is not dry enough to go on to slicks just yet. Unfortunate for Akito. I probably, maybe the damage was far too much, but personally, I maybe would have waited a little bit so the track can get greasy. But I'm not really sure. I'm not out there on the track, so I can't tell the conditions myself. Taking a look at Dirty Kohai.
As,
Sorry, go ahead.
as Dirty Kohai actually making a chase for Evano Sensor here. As just barely misses the rear end after making a little bit of a late braking move, but definitely caught up to the pink Wild Things car of Evano Sensor. Beautiful car, by the way.
Dirty Kohai just harassing the witch cat boy a little bit. Actually, these two are cat boys, I believe, so it's going to be a cat fight here. Sorry. As they round out this corner here. Oh my goodness. I sort of soft-locked myself. But yes, Dirty Kohai trying to recover from that lap 1 incident, as I said before. Gets a bit closer to Vado Chensoi and maybe trying to make a move around the outside. Has a bit of the momentum as Chensoi tries to hug that inside apex. But no, actually, Dirty Kohai is just side by side coming into this hard braking zone. We'll see who has the better braking momentum, braking ability. Dirty Kohai is on the inside and might take his position. Yes, he does, but not clear yet. Oh my gosh! Now Dirty Kohai is around. It's a huge accident, and the AM class leader is in it.
Yes, there was a parking lot right there. The Zul literally had to just stop there on the track. Let's see what happened there.
Evano Chancellor just washed out wide, and then Zul Akihata with nowhere to go. Kaito Nasa had to get on the grass.
And Evano looks like he's stopping to actually get back the position. Yes, he has.
That's unfortunate. Evano, it was a great race so far until that happened. Really sportsmanlike from him, though, giving back the position. So meanwhile, the AM-class battle is now underway between Kaito Nasa and Zul Akihata teammates because of that incident.
Yes, Technoburst having a great day here. Both of the drivers, both of the teams here actually have drivers in the podium positions. So, yes, probably a great day to extend the lead on the second place team in the standings.
Ooh, Kaito Nasa
goes
goes
a little bit wide though. Yes.
Ace the Neon Pirate go around easily.
Yes.
Yes, Song. Technoburst having a great day, actually. And actually, one driver I do want to point out is Jordan Brunch finds himself at the top of the silver class once again. What do you think about that?
Yes, we all thought Dirty Kohai would just pull away with it, but a string of unfortunate incidents meant that Jordan's back on the top step of the silver class and looking to extend his lead. Lucky, but still great performance from Jordan, actually.
Psycho Kaiser is the second driver to come into the pits to get that pit window served. We'll see what tires he's going on this time. And David Katse falls
the track
behind.
is looking quite dry. The track is looking quite dry at the moment, and the clouds are trying to dissipate a little bit, so maybe they're trying to gamble on a slick tire change. We'll see if they, as Solao is stopped on track. Ooh, that is very close. We have to see what happened though. Check the instant replay.
Oh, that was not. Oh, sorry, that was not far behind enough, but probably had to spin. And Luke was looking at him to take evasive action, and then she tried to pull forward, and Aki was, oh my gosh, was really lucky. Had to react just in time to avoid that stop Mustang GT3. Fortunately, everybody is okay. David Katse, Ivano Chensoi, Dirty Kohai, a lot of drivers into the pits. Psycho Kaiser has just come out. There he is. I believe he is now on the dry tires. I have to take a look. Yes, he is.
Yes.
So it's gonna have to
Just
be
so
really
if
careful,
you
though.
didn't,
Go ahead.
Just so if you didn't know, in ACC, the dry tires have a yellow tire wall. The wet tires do not, so it's easy to differentiate this way. For the unnotified viewer out there.
We'll take a look at Lucas. Yeah, oh, you're
right.
right.
Dirty Kohai with a stop go 30. Probably for speeding.
It just goes from bad to worse for Dirty Kohai, unfortunately. Just, oh my goodness. As we had to disconnect somewhere. Somebody disconnected. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Was it? I think it was an AM class driver. No, it was a pro class driver of Asa, the Nyanpire. So unfortunate for Asa, just retired the car. Just hopefully next round will be better for her. Meanwhile, a few other drivers into the pits: Isaac Armas, Kaito Nasa, Jordan Branch, Zul Akihara. So that leaves for the leaders Ryoma Kirihara and Lucas Lichten still out there on the wet tires. And the final two cars, actually 3 cars, but ooh, you see Lucas Lichten struggling with the wet tires a bit there. But yes, there are 3 cars still yet to serve the mandatory stop. We'll see how much more Lucas Lichten will stay out on track. Now the track is greasy.
Yes, Lucas is pitting in now. Prime time to pit as the track has gotten drier and the skies brighter than before. Kirihara is also pitting in as we speak, the last person to do their pit stop. As nearly hits a tire wall, they're very precarious but manages to survive.
We'll keep an eye on Psycho Kaiser, who is in 3rd place at the moment. I'm not sure he's going to be able to close that gap between himself and Ryoma Kirihara. Actually, Ryoma Kirihara just had a further pit stall. I thought that Ryoma Kirihara came out with a faster pit stop, but it's 30 seconds locked to, because you do need tires and fuel. So once you take tires and fuel in this game, you are locked to a 30-second pit stop, so there's no difference if you put in, say, like 100 liters or 40 liters. But either way, Lucas Lichten is down on the tires and passes Ryoma Kirihara, maybe predictably, and is able to get back out on track on the dry tires in 1st place. Ryoma Kirihara also pulls away. Let's see how far away he is from his teammate. Quite a bit away. And
Kirihara has a stop go!
Oh my goodness! No way! It might have been because we saw him nearly hit the tire barrier. He was just, he didn't get slowed down enough.
Yes, the 2 causes for speeding in the pit lane is either not having the pit limiter on by just not having it on or shifting into 2nd gear, or by entering the pits too fast. We think it was the latter for Ryoma's case here. Very, very unfortunate. 2nd stop and go of the day.
Oh my goodness. Because we did see him nearly hit that tire wall, and I had a feeling that he was just way too fast entering. So, just unfortunate for Ryoma. The wet conditions probably not really helping.
That does invite Psycho Kaiser though into P2 in Pro Class. A very good result for him, but probably not good for the team, as if Ryoma serves the penalty, he'll probably get overtaken by Isaac, as Asa has actually reconnected so it was probably a technical issue, not a race quit of sorts.
And it's good news for Asa to come back into the race. Unfortunate for her that she had that disconnect. But yeah, Asa is a great driver, it's just unfortunate. Actually, Ryoma Kirihara hasn't come into the pits just yet, so another lap to serve that stop. So 2 more laps to serve that stop-go penalty. Psycho Kaiser coming across the line now is in 3rd. Take a look, actually posts his best lap of the race, but probably more speed to be found. Jordan Branch in the lead of the silver class. David Katse is 13 seconds behind Jordan Branch. The closest battle we have, however, is... Ooh, I thought I saw a car spinning out there behind. That is Akito Suzukawa, but... Yes, the closest battle we have on the track at the moment, as there's a lot of damage on Isaac's car. Not sure how he got that.
Though we have to pray for Asa to get more luck. Ruby and me raced the last round of Track GT Cup, and she was literally just beaten around in that race, getting punted around, and basically have to fight in the near last places of the overall positions, and here is no different. We really need to see luck come back to Asa, who's a great driver and needs uh, a lot of good finishing positions.
At the moment, if Ryoma Kihara comes into the pits, Psycho Kaiser will have a 46 point total, so that will maybe actually I have to check, but that will put him ahead of Kalmari and maybe within range of Isaac. No, actually, Isaac would be in third, I believe, but it would put him in range, so it'd be behind Isaac Umbras, as Delnat Kalmari is not here today. Take a look at the rest of the grid. Dirty Kohai is in the pits once again. Actually, no, that was Akito Suzugawa. Never mind.
Yes, probably for that tire change to the wet from dry. Oh, sorry, from wet to dry. Yes.
Taking a look at the at Ryoma Kirihara, still not serving his stop-go penalty, so this will be when he crosses this line. If he doesn't serve it, that will be his final lap. And any more laps done, he will be disqualified from the race. So gonna have to do it soon. So looking at second place for the AM class. We'll take a look at first place for M, that is Zul Akihara, who got into the side of, I believe it was Dirty Kohai, but still able to recover and get a good position here, well, a great position, and this will undoubtedly extend his points lead in the AM standings. Kaito and Asada having a great day will be able to add to his total as well. I believe that will be 52 points. And that'll be enough to jump.
Kirihara's not coming in. Oh, he has come in.
Yeah, he's coming in now.
I thought he wasn't coming in.
So, Kirihara will relinquish second place to Seko Kaiza and perhaps maybe even Jordan Brunch. Maybe, I don't think it's going to be enough for Isaac Umbras to get around here. We'll see, maybe. David Katse, I think, might get around here.
I think Isaac would just cut it to overtake Kirihara, actually, as he's actually on the back straight right now, so we'll definitely overtake Kirihara for P3 in Pro Class.
There we go, it's proven wrong. So Isaac Umbras is in third position, back on the podium, but 6th overall, and behind Zul Akihara. So, it's definitely been an up and down race for some of these pro drivers.
Jordan Brunch, though, up into P3 as a result of that stop and go.
Isaac Umbras.
And David also up into P4.
Oh yeah, David Katse having a great race so far, keeping it clean. Good result for the Katse Racing Team Mustang. But meanwhile, keep an eye on this for overall position. For 5th position, for overall between Zul Akihara and Isaac Umbras. Zul Akihara has a good instinct for racing, so this will probably be a pretty interesting battle to keep an eye on. It's going to be not for any position in any classes, but should be fun as the leader in overall is gone, just 15 seconds away from Psycho Kaiza. Lucas Lichten is just on a Sunday drive at the moment.
Yes, it must be a nice hot lapping session for Lucas Lichten right now, doing his best Max Verstappen impression.
Looks like Isaac Umbras has been having trouble catching up to. Gets really wide and nearly gets the car sideways, but is able to catch it. Probably that front end damage not helping the downforce for Isaac Umbras as he tries to catch up to Zul, but with the damage to the front end and the dirty air from the car ahead, That's going to be a huge task for him to get around. Flash and Alliance, but it's not going to do much. Actually, Zul Akihara might just let him around. Yes, he goes wide. Just, so that was actually a lot kinder than I thought it would be. So, there we go. Isaac Armbruster is into 5th position. So, trying to catch the 4th place overall driver of David Katze. We'll see if there's any other things going on around the racing circuit. Gaps are pretty stretched out a bit thin, which is a bit surprising given how small this track is.
Big train behind those two though. Check the number 19 car of Kaito Nasa.
Indeed.
There's a train indeed forming as Kirihara is trying to catch up, and also Ivano Sensoi. So
Kaito Nasa, as you said, leading that little bit of a train, 3-car train. Ryuma Kirihara trying to recover from that stop-go 30 penalty. I believe Kaito Nasa is going to let his higher class teammate by. So a bit of maybe team orders, or maybe just trying a bit of courtesy for Kaito Nasa. He knows that he's not going to be able to match the pace of Ryuma Kirihara, and Kirihara is just allowed to have some clear track ahead to work on at least getting a podium in pro class, because it's not out of reach just yet. Isaac Armbruster isn't too far out the road.
yes, all of these drivers are just trying to lose as less time as possible, because very difficult track to overtake this one, and you ideally want to not spend time battling each other.
Taking a look at the lap times, Ryuma Kirihara had a best lap time of 138.802, whereas Isaac Armbruster had a best lap time of 139.312, so that is about... So
5 tenths?
5 tenths, yes. I'm good at math. Kaito Nasa lets Ivano Chinsoi around. Probably just happy with his position overall and just trying to get 2nd place in AM class, which would be a great result for him either way. Further up ahead, Zul Akihara, actually, Ace of the Empire got around Zul Akihara, so Zul Akihara now down to... Actually, no, never mind. Ace of the Empire is a lap down, so Ace of the Empire just trying to get her laps back, but down 4 laps, so unfortunate for her. She's just going to have to finish the race out here. Best lap of the race goes to, well, none other than Lucas Lichten with 137.095, so setting the pace, definitely. The closest car to his pace at the moment, we're going to check, is actually Ryuma Kirihara. I thought it was Seiko Kaiser, but that gap is very small. It's about like 0.005 of a second between them, and then right behind them is actually Isaac Armbruster. So Isaac Armbruster is turning up the pace a bit, trying to get away from the dirty air of Ace of the Empire and Zul Akihara. David Katze is a driver I do want to highlight because, I nearly jinxed him, but having a great race so far. 2nd place in silver. I don't believe he has podium to get into the silver class. So, and also I believe this is going to be his best finish overall. So, and also for Jordan Brunch as well, it's going to be his best finish overall with the 3rd place overall podium.
Yes, both drivers doing particularly well here, especially Katze, who is trying to recover from a horrible Misano race. We all know he got like some massive incidents, and I think he got a penalty too, actually. So yes, good recovery for David right here.
David just turning in laps, just trying to keep this Mustang clean as possible. The American, actually no, I shouldn't say American. I thought he was Canadian, but actually he's American, so. Close enough. The Canadian driver I'm probably thinking about is Soleil Drukok's part of the same team, is down in 12th position overall, still has yet to take her mandatory stop. Had that big moment early on in the race in the rain, unfortunately. You saw there a huge, right in this section of the track, a huge snap and then just hard impact into the guardrail, but is just still in the podium position.
Yes, that hit was so bad that it actually made the hood wide open where you can actually see the engine of the car. First time I've ever seen that in ACC, but
yeah,
it seems like she's actually just trying to recover here, trying to finish P3 after another AM driver left. So, yep, you take what life gives you.
And if I'm correct, this keeps her in second position in AM. I'm gonna have to do a bit of calculations here. Yes, it does keep...
Now actually...
It does keep her in second position. Kaito Nasa would be just behind her with 52 points, as at the moment Soleil would have 62. Akihata, however, is going to further extend his lead in the point standings.
Quite a different view from the start of the race, actually. We thought it was going to be a full rain race from what was in the practice service beforehand, but it's looking like a nice little sunny race today for Vtracc round 4 at Zandvoort, as we are reaching the halfway point actually of the race.
So halfway there, as they say. Lucas Lichten on top of the standings. Then it's Psycho Kaiza, 22 seconds behind the leader. Jordan Brunch first in silver and third overall. Then David Katse, Isaac Umbras, Zul Akihata, Ryoma Kirihara, Evado Chensoi, Kaito Nasa, 30 Kohai, Akito Suzukawa, Shiloh Drukok 2 laps down from the lead, and Ace of the Empire 3 laps down for the lead. White Natus is the only retirement from the race thus far. You can see Ryoma Kirihara catching up to his teammate in AM class, leading the AM class there. That is Zul Akihata. Probably gonna let him by quite easily here. Yes, he does. Going to the left-hand side. Actually, Ryoma Kirihara trying to get a bit of the toe. And good on Zul for braking before Ryoma Kirihara enters the corner, because sometimes, yeah, it goes really wrong when you're side by side with somebody else there.
It is quiet at the moment, but it looks like Asanyampa is looking like she's trying to unlap herself from yes, Isaac Umbras. They are very close to each other right now.
Indeed, Ace of the Empire, just unfortunate with that disconnect, unfortunate with a few incidents in the race, I believe. Actually, no, she was a bit of the mid-pack, but had that disconnect, unfortunately, and returns 3 laps down from the lead. But points are points. 5th position gives you 11 points, and that's gonna help her at least gain some momentum, gain some points on Kalmari, who is not here. That's gonna be, I believe, 4th. Actually, no, it's gonna be 5th instead of 6th. So if she keeps this up, she might be able to jump a position in the point standings. We'll see if there's any developments here going on. Ryoma Kirihara is matching Isaac Umbras on lap time, so these two are not getting time. Well, Ryoma Kirihara is not catching the third place Yukai Racing driver. Take a look at anybody else around the grid. Isaac Umbras, however, is catching David Katse. Kaito Nasa is just stuck in second, happily racing around second. Dodeko High is 40 seconds behind Kaito Nasa, so it's going to be a bit of a task with only about 27 and a half minutes to go. Akito Suzukawa is a lap down, yes, so fortunate for him, he's going to have to just settle for, I believe, 5th in class. Actually, sorry, Asa would be 6th in class, so never mind that. Taking a look at the lap times at the head of the field, Lucas Lichten with a 137.477, then Psycho Kaiza, as you see on the screen right now, with a 39.440, so he's turning down the pace a little bit compared to the rest of the pro field. Actually, even Jordan Brunch is faster.
Yes, I can see that. Very interesting. Maybe Psycho Kaiser is trying to save either on tires or fuel.
Perhaps and maybe just not wanting to cause any problems for himself, because he saw that he was struggling a bit with this track in the qualifying session, and maybe just not trying to find any more pace, just has a bit of a gap to Isaac Armbra's, a big gap even, so even if he loses those overall positions, still gonna be second place in pro, and it's gonna give him a 20-point haul. Taking a look at Jordan Brunch, though, who is lapping the class of the field in silver, actually, like I said, ahead of some of the pro drivers in pace as well. A great result from Jordan Brunch, and that's only going to extend his lead in an important part of the season. Coming to round 5, he's going to need those points gap.
Up. Yes, get that points gap up.
Oh, yes, excuse me. So Vtracc takes her mandatory stop. She had to pit early on in the race to repair the damage, so that didn't count because it wasn't in the pit window. So now she'll take it. Isaac Umbras, excuse me, has caught up to the tail of David Katse. So this will be for overall position, not as but on the overall podium, but a position improvement isn't a position improvement nonetheless. He is crossing a line. This is going to be a 138.920 compared to David Katse's 139.967. So a second difference. So it's a second a lap between these two. So these two are going to jostle for position. We'll see if David Katse just allows Umbras to go around, not try and jeopardize his current position right now, or if David Katse will try to battle for overall bragging rights. Remo Kirihara trying to get around the lap car of Soleil Vtracc. Soleil Vtracc lets him get around. Going back to Isaac Umbras. Excuse me for this, but at the start of the race, I bet Isaac Umbras was like, Isaac, bruh. I'll never do that again.
Asa actually makes an unlapping move on Isaac Umbras, but Isaac is still side by side through the short back straight into the right hander and the left semi hairpin. Let's see who has the better braking, as Asa probably backed up because she didn't want to get involved in an incident like that. So very cautious of her, actually. Yeah.
It is still causing Isaac a bit of a headache because she is right there a bit faster than Isaac actually. So Isaac is having to focus not only just on the track, but trying to not let Asa screw up his momentum. That last lap was a bit slower. Go ahead. Ooh.
And Asa, guess Isaac on the outside? Yes? No, actually, as Isaac actually keeps it through the corner, but Asa just taking advantage of the better line and gets ahead of Isaac there. unlapping herself.
And keep an eye on the 128 of Ryoma Kirihara. Ryoma Kirihara is catching him because of this.
Yes, they're now on the same bit of track right now, as Isaac lost big time due to the battle with Asa the Yantai, who is 3 laps behind.
Yeah, I know that if I was in Isaac Umbra's shoes, I'd be a little bit annoyed at the moment. You're 3 laps down, you probably might as well just try and at least get a bit of a, I mean, and also Asa has her mandatory stop yet to be served, so I'd be a little bit annoyed if I were Isaac.
Yes, but you gotta do what you gotta do to try and recover as best as possible. That's possibly the mentality right now for Asa.
See, Isaac Umbra still the focus in the picture. We'll take a look back at Ryoma Kirihara, who, let's take a look at these lap times at the moment. Actually, take a look at Isaac Umbra's lap time crossing the line in a short while. Ooh, Ryoma Kirihara got onto the sand. Isaac Umbra's crossing the line. That's going to be 139.892. Ryoma Kirihara just behind it with a 138.725, so that's a second difference. That was quite a bit of time lost to the car behind. But Isaac Umbras now has the car of David Katse to get around. And we'll see if David Katse defends his position, or if he's just gonna let Umbras around. That's gonna be if Katse defends, that's gonna be 2 Katse Racing Team cars that he's gonna have trouble with.
And also not just 2 Katse Racing drivers, 1 Technoburst car of Ryoma Kirihara. It will be very interesting to see whether or not they will try and actually work together as a team to try and hold up Isaac Umbras, actually.
It would be interesting since they don't really have any connections to Technoburst, but we'll see. Ooh, David Katse goes off the track. Does he rejoin her front? Oh, just barely. But Isaac Umbras is able to get around just fine, and now has that bit of a buffer between himself and Ryoma Kirihara. Now it's up to Ryoma Kirihara to get around David Katse. David Katse loses out on the overall position to Isaac Umbras, but still second place, so nothing to be worried about. But he might have a bit of a toe here. Well, is he gonna fight back for that position? Looks to the inside. Ooh, doesn't have the braking power that Isaac Umbras has, so has to relinquish that position overall. Now, Isaac Umbras has that bit of a buffer to David Katse, and now Ryoma Kirihara is gonna have to work twice as hard to get around David Katse to battle the number 722 car for that podium in Pro. Oh my gosh, a lot of words coming out of my mouth at the moment, and I'm mixing up, so...
A little bit of ACC trivia. Actually, the 2020 Mercedes that Isaac is driving is actually one of the slowest GT3s in terms of top speed, and combined with that front end damage, definitely does not help on the straight, where David, as you saw right there, did actually get a run on Isaac there in the Mustang with a big ass engine that it has. So yes, interesting observation.
We'll go on board with Ryoma Kirihara for a little bit as he tries to chomp down that gap.
He was the gap to David Katse by the end of this lap.
It's a second to David Katse, and looks like Ryoma Kirihara is about, I want to say, half a second faster than Isaac Umbras that last lap. So, really, Ryoma Kirihara is coming. He is coming.
And he will want that position from Isaac Umbras to complete a Technoburst double podium for both Pro and Am. So Kirihara needs to make up some speed right now. He wants that to happen.
Meanwhile, if you're wondering, Lucas Lichten is still in the lead by 33.5 seconds. So, if you were wondering, no, nothing has happened to Lucas Lichten once again. He didn't get caught, he didn't get struck by lightning, he didn't get eaten by a Godzilla or anything. He's still up there in first position. We'll go back to Ryoma Kirihara, however.
Actually, Kirihara's last lap was only 2/10 slower than Lucas Lichten, so could be battling for the lead right now if not for the unfortunate stop-go 30 that he got early in the race. So, yeah.
But you have to keep in mind that with that gap that Lucas Lichten has, perhaps Lucas Lichten is just taking it easy. Who knows that if Kirihara was there in the mix, maybe Lucas would have pushed a little bit harder. It depends though, because we know that the Porsche is not very good on tire wear, and it's been a pretty long stint. It's longer than usual. It's about 40, maybe even 45 minutes compared to the usual like 30 or 25 that these drivers usually do. So perhaps it could be a bit of tire wear, but we have to think about as well the circumstances of where Lucas is at. Perhaps that he's just taking it easy, doesn't want to bend the car, doesn't want to make any silly mistakes.
You have to take into consideration though that Lucas was the second last driver to take the mandatory pit stop apart from the drivers who have disconnected from the race. So he's on a shorter stint than we thought, and that could still be helping the Porsche.
That is a good point. So it's just a matter of what could have been for Ryoma Kirihara, honestly, if he did not get that stop go, because we did see him just barely miss that tire barrier as David Katse's off in front of Ryoma Kirihara. He has to take evasive action, and that is super close. That could have been disastrous for Kirihara. We'll take a look at that. Oh my goodness, that was very close.
Yes, if Katse had not held onto his brakes, it would have been disaster. As actually it goes wide again. Looks like there's some tire wear on that Mustang actually.
This could be an issue,
But
and this could allow Ivano Chensoi to maybe have a shot. Ivano is actually not too far behind. So if these issues continue for David Katse, we might have a battle for second in silver on our hands as well. So it's something to keep an eye on as well.
And we have to take into account that Ivano was 4 seconds behind Zul. The gap is now 2 seconds. So he's definitely catching.
Indeed, actually, Ivano Chensoi is on a great pace at the moment. 139.295 the last lap. This lap will be a 139.932, so nothing to sniff at. In fact, it's actually been a bit faster than overall what David Katse has been doing. So remember, David Katse has been in the 140 mark. So if Ivano Chensoi is making a charge for second place in silver here, and David Katse might be in a bit of danger. Take a look back at Ryoma Kirihara. Actually, Ryoma Kirihara is 2/10 slower than Isaac Umbras that last lap, and Isaac Umbras is trying to open up that gap just a bit more. Maybe with the help of the toe, Asa the Nyanpire, and maybe because of actually you see there Kirihara's in the picture. I'm not sure. Maybe or maybe has found a better line, has improved a bit with his driving despite the front end damage he has. Very interesting so far. You see, there he is, Ryoma Kirihara. And Chensoi is cut up to the rear of the AM class leader Zul Akihara.
Looks like finally found some pace in the McLaren 720S and is looking to catch up to the Aston Martin there. Trying to grab that overall position so he can try and catch up to David, as we see ominously in the background the Porsche of Lucas Lichten.
Lucas Lichten just happily lapping around. It might lap these two drivers at some point, but Chensoi wants to get around Zul Akihara before that happens. see the gap has been diminished a little bit between David Katse and Ivano Chensoy, but David's gonna hope that Zul's gonna have to act as a buffer. We're still keeping an eye.
Oh, you can hear the tire screeches. A lot of tire scrubbing right there, caused by the understeer, which does not have the tires at all. Especially because the track is also green.
It's probably going to be green the whole way. Taking a look at the lap times once again, Ryoma Kirihara is faster than Isaac Armbruster. Has chopped that gap down just a bit, but it's still not enough to make that move. Kirihara is going to have to go a bit faster than that. And Lucas Lichten is cut up to the rear of Ivano Chensoy and Zul Akihata. We'll see what happens here. Lucas Lichten set a lap time of 137.495 the last time around, so found a bit of more pace, so I think it would have been all for naught if actually... Oh my goodness! Oh no 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 no! Oh no!
No!
Oh my goodness. Unfortunate for Ivano Chensoy. We'll take a look what happened here. Oh, just missed his braking point there. Was got a bit distracted by Lucas Lichten maybe behind trying to lap him. And then just nearly got into the rear of Zul Akihata. Thankfully did not, but that's gonna kill his chances for getting second place. And David Katse can just sigh a breath of relief. Maybe somebody telling him that Chensoy has gone off, and maybe as a result can just let Soleil by and just cruise on to the finish here. A couple of drivers not cruising onto the finish here, though, are Ryoma Kirihara and Isaac Armbruster just trying to outmatch each other. And the pace is still rather alike. It's just going back and forth, but Ryoma Kirihara is going to have to dig a bit deeper to find that pace if he wants to get at least a shot at third position in Pro.
There's a silver lining to the Ivano situation, though. This would still be his best finish of the season. So you gotta... When life gives you lemon, you eat the lemons.
I think it's you make lemonade, but yeah, that works too. Okay. Ryoma Kirihara coming around the penultimate corner now into this fast right-hander. Having to go full throttle. I don't think you can go full throttle in the green conditions, so you hear him having to let off. And that gap is shrunk just a little bit. Last lap time for Kirihara. Oh, that's a really fast lap, and that is his best lap of the race. Almost 2 seconds of a difference between himself and Isaac Armbruster now. He is flying. We'll see if Isaac Armbruster is able to turn on the pace. But Kirihara has definitely found something. He has listened to me, and now he's digging deep.
Yes, Kirihara has had a disastrous weekend last
Oh
week
my
on
God!
Track GT.
Jordan brushes off!
What? Oh no, he is. Jordan brushes off. Let's see what happened there.
Oh, he just went wide. Thankfully, doesn't hit anything, does he? Oh, that was really close. He's able to get that engine restarted, and I believe he will keep his third position overall. That could have been way worse. That gave us a huge scare. But fortunately for him, he has quite a bit of a gap to David Katse. So, he's going to have to be careful, though.
Yes, like I'm saying previously, Ryoma, disastrous weekend in Track GT3 last week. It wasn't broadcast, but a highlight video will be up soon. But yeah, Ryoma's just trying his best to captivate on a lost weekend practically, and trying to get as best a result as possible, and trying to catch up to Isaac Armbruster to get third place.
That gap is now down to 2.3 seconds as Ryoma Kirihara clocks in at 138.552. Isaac Armbruster with a 139.170, so the gap is definitely going down. It is definitely diminishing. And here we go. We have a battle on our hands, potentially, at the dying moments of the race for for the final podium spot in the Pro class.
As Ashley Empire actually has taken her mandatory pit stop finally.
Yes, she has, so she is still going to be the last of the running cars overall, but always good to get a finished race done. Kirihara still trying to dig deep. I keep saying dig deep, but he is really digging deep. And Isaac Evers is on high alert, basically. He's going to have to try and keep his cool, but well, when you have a driver like Ryoma Kirihara who can be so quick, it's a bit hard to just try to keep calm because you know he is coming. He is absolutely coming for you.
Yes, I have had the pleasure to battle Kirihara in Track GT, interclass battle actually, and boy does it scare you sometimes with his ability to just pick up the nose right into the corner.
So both Technoburst Racing drivers sharing that psychopathic driving style. Both the psychopath Psycho Kaisa, previous Vtracc champion, and Ryoma Kirihara, the newest rising star in the pro class. Last lap was a 138.522. Isaac Umbras will check in a bit. He has picked up the pace a little bit. 138.660. So it's a bit back and forth between these two, but I think it is because of the damage he has to his car. Isaac Umbras is being a bit inconsistent. Sometimes he has the pace, sometimes he does not. As so a bit of cloud cover has come over the racing track. I don't believe there's going to be rain coming in anytime soon, but anything can happen. Is Akito Suzukawa goes
Akito
off
has gone off.
Yes, he has, but he has gone back on the racing track, so nothing too bad there. Ryoma Kirihara has gotten that gap down under 2 seconds with 6 minutes about to go in the race. Your leaders still Lucas Lichten, then Psycho Kaisa, then Jordan Bunch leading in the silver class. Zul Akihara is in the lead of the AM class. A great day for Technoburst if Ryoma Kirihara can get a by Isaac Umbras.
The gap has closed down again to 1.8 seconds. And as we cross the line, down to 1.5 seconds.
You can hear the Jaws theme playing in the background. Ryoma is here. Ryoma is lurking. Isaac Umbras will have to try and fend off against the dragon of Ryoma Kirihara.
Yes, defending like a lion against a literal dragon doesn't make a lot of sense, but we have to check what Isaac Umbras can do against Ryoma Kirihara in the dying times of the race here.
That gap has now visibly shrunk. You can see how much that gap has shrunken down.
Yes, 1.2 seconds now. It was 1.5 earlier, just in the front straight. So yes, definitely catching up right now, man.
Yeah,
It's gonna be exciting battle.
You can see them in the same picture, just about. That's like not even. I believe it's just going to be around a second once they cross the line. These two rumbling V8 engines going to do battle in a cacophony of racing, engineering, and music. I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to be very extravagant, but the racing does the talking for itself.
The gap is down to 7 tenths.
Now under a second, we'll see if Ryoma Kirihara can make the move anytime here, coming out of the first turn, the first hairpin. Now this twisty part of the circuit before that banked left-hander. Ryoma Kirihara goes over the curb, but has not broken his momentum any bit. The Aston Martin is on rails compared to that ailing Mercedes AMG GT3 ahead of him. It's going to be, yes, it's visibly within a second. Kirihara now just has to calm down and try to find a way around. The track condition is now fast, so we'll see if it benefits Kirihara at any point here. This car is heavily coming to him. Kirihara may have just missed that turn a little bit, but the gap is still very close. Isaac Armas might have just pulled up a little bit of a gap compared to earlier on in the lap, but Ryoma Kirihara is quick enough to let it diminish just as fast. Now with only 2 minutes of the race, it's going to be 2 more laps the next time. 2 more laps next time we cross the line. I believe, yes it will be.
As the track turns into fast, actually, for the first time in the race.
Lucas Lichten will begin the final lap of the race. So yes, there is just this lap and the one after for these two to settle their battle here. Lucas Lichten crossing the line now, gets the white flag. A great performance for the Team Mafu driver. That gap between Isaac Armas and Ryoma Kirihara has widened out a little bit. It's 1.1 seconds now, so Kirihara is gonna, like I said, he's gonna have to keep his calm. Can't get too excited here. Isaac Armas, I believe, is faster around this part of the circuit, but Ryoma Kirihara has the 1 lap pace. Goes all over that big curb. That's not going to help his pace at all. He's cutting the track as much as he can to try to get as much time as possible, but I don't think it's working. It's just upsetting his car. Isaac Armas.
Little side note, though, Evano Sensor is now under a second from Zu Akihara, actually, catching up a whole 5-second gap within just a few laps. But yeah, as we see right now, Ryoma, can it be enough to catch up to Isaac Armas? No, not quite, as they round out the last corner for the penultimate time of this race. But it could all change at the final lap. Let us see. As they round now on the straight into the final lap of the race.
They are now within a second once again, but Isaac Armas might have the upper hand here. Coming out of the hairpin. Lucas Lichten will cross the line to win again in a dominant fashion for the Dutch V-Prix. We'll keep an eye. We will go back to Ryoma Kirihara, however. David Kate finishes second in silver, so a great result for him today. That gap is not going anywhere. Ryoma Kirihara can't find any more speed out of that Aston Martin. His stablemate Zu Akihara will cross the line for AM, winning his class, and another great performance for the Team Technoburst driver. Kirihara has gained a little bit of time. He's cutting that grass a bit. I think he's caught up just a little bit more. And I don't think it's going to be enough unless Isaac Armas makes a big mistake coming into this next corner. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not going to be enough, I believe, unless Isaac Armas goes off here or something a huge catastrophe happens. Just ahead, Jordan Brunch will take another win in silver class. The two Mirai United VTuber Racing Team drivers doing a photo finish here, and Isaac Armas is the final car on the podium position, and Ryoma Kirihara just misses out on the podium. What a great race.
Yes, absolutely amazing showing from Jordan Brunch too, who has finished P3 overall actually, and first in silver, extending his lead in the championship.
Lucas Lichten will extend his points gap in the pro class due to Ryoma Kirihara's into because of Ryoba Kirihara's incident there with the stop go. Jordan Brunch continues to dominate the silver class, as well as Zul Akihara. Amazing result, amazing race from everybody. Oh my goodness, what do you think of all of that? It was a fantastic race. Despite not too
Yes,
much action. Go ahead, sorry.
yes, it was kind of all over the place at the start, but as it calmed down, in like when the rain kind of stopped, but again we see great battles like especially with Ryoma Kirihara and Isaac Ambrose, and also a little bit unfortunate today for some great runners in qualifying like Dirty Kohai and also who was it I'm thinking of? But anyway, yes, very unfortunate today for some of those drivers that was caught in either incidents or drive-through penalties. But overall, I think it was a great race, and we cannot wait to see them race again in 2 weeks at the penultimate round at Paul Ricard.
So join us for the French V-Prix in 2 weeks, as Song KP said. Thank you, Song, once again for joining me in commentary. Always like to have you around.
Oh, those are nice trucks.
Those are very nice trucks. And are those gas prices? Good gas prices. But yes. But without further ado, thank you everybody for watching. Been a great race. Thank you to all the tracc.eu staff that helped us get this running. And without further, and from us I don't know where our studio is at. Our studio is all over the place, but yes. From us both, Song KP and Ruby Nekomata, thank you, and we will see you on the racetrack. Bye-bye.